The representatives of the Galactic Council moved quietly through their massive crystal chamber. 17 species had gathered today, each from different star systems. They came to discuss the newest potential addition to their community, humans. Counselor Doyen adjusted his formal robes and activated the central display. Images of Earth appeared, showing cities, oceans, and finally, the first human space stations capable of faster-than-light travel. As you can see, Doyen said, the humans have advanced quickly in the last century. Counselor Mina leaned forward, her blue skin reflecting the light from the display. Their technology development rate is impressive. But are they ready to join us? Asked Counselor Hagen, his forearms crossed skeptically. Many young species think they're prepared for interstellar politics, but they quickly learn otherwise. Doyen nodded. Which is why, as tradition dictates, we should invite them to demonstrate their capabilities. Then we can judge if they're truly ready. The Council voted unanimously to send a diplomatic envoy to Earth. 6 days later, a Council ship entered Earth's solar system and requested permission to approach. The humans were surprised but prepared. They had been watching the skies for signs of other intelligent life for centuries. World leaders quickly gathered to meet with the alien representatives in a specially prepared conference room at the United Nations headquarters. The Council envoy, led by Ambassador Min-jae, explained the purpose of their visit. They told the human leaders about the Galactic Council and extended an invitation for Earth to demonstrate their readiness to join. All potential members must show their technological capabilities, Min-jae explained. Most species send their defense fleet, their best ships, to the Council homeworld as a show of respect and strength. The human representatives looked at each other. President Aronson of the United World Government nodded slowly. We understand, she said. Earth will send a ship to your council. Ambassador Min-jae blinked in confusion. A ship? Just one? Yes, the president confirmed. Our finest vessel will represent humanity. The council representatives tried to hide their surprise. They had expected the humans to promise an impressive fleet, as all other species had done before them. Perhaps there is a misunderstanding, Min-jae suggested gently. The demonstration is meant to show your species' full capabilities. Admiral Jae-hyun Kim, head of Earth's Space Force, stepped forward. There is no misunderstanding, Ambassador. We will send one ship, the HSV Leviathan. It will be sufficient. On their return journey, the Council envoy transmitted their report about Earth's strange decision. The news spread quickly through Council space, causing much discussion and speculation. In the main Council chamber, Counselor Doyen shared the findings with his colleagues. They insist on sending just one vessel, he explained. They call it the Leviathan. Laughter rippled through the chamber. One ship? Counselor Hagen chuckled. The Zeridians sent 30 when they applied for membership. Perhaps humans lack resources, suggested another counselor. Perhaps their technology is not as advanced as we thought. Only Counselor Mina remained quiet, her expression thoughtful. Or perhaps, she finally said, making the chamber fall silent, they know something we don't. Meanwhile, on Earth, final preparations for the Leviathan were underway. Inside a massive orbital shipyard, thousands of engineers, scientists, and workers from every nation worked tirelessly to complete the vessel. Admiral Kim and President Aronson stood at a viewing platform, watching the activity below. Will it be ready in time? Asked the president. Yes, replied the admiral. The Leviathan will be completed 3 days before the scheduled departure. And you're certain one ship is the right decision? The council clearly expected more. Admiral Kim smiled. That's precisely why one ship is perfect. Let them underestimate us. The Leviathan represents humanity's greatest achievement, not because we built many ships, but because we built the right ship. The president nodded. Who will command her? Captain Yuna Park, the admiral answered without hesitation. There's no one better. 2 weeks later, Captain Park stood before her crew of 300, the best pilots, engineers, and scientists Earth had to offer. They gathered in the Leviathan's main hall, their faces serious but proud. The council expects a fleet, Park said, her voice strong and clear. They expect quantity. We will show them quality instead. Every civilization before us has tried to impress with numbers. We will impress with ingenuity. She looked at the diverse faces before her, people from every continent, united in purpose. The Leviathan carries the hopes of Earth. But more importantly, it carries humanity's message to the stars: we do things differently. And soon, they'll understand why. The HSV Leviathan left Earth's orbit with little fanfare. Unlike the loud celebrations that had marked previous space missions, this departure was quiet and determined. Most humans watched from screens in their homes as the massive ship activated its engines and slowly moved away from the orbital dock. Captain Una Park stood on the bridge, her hands clasped behind her back as she watched her home planet grow smaller on the main viewscreen. "Engine status?" she asked. Lieutenant Hyunwoo checked his console. "All systems running at optimal capacity, Captain. We're ready for the first jump." Una nodded. "Proceed when ready, Lieutenant." The Leviathan's unique engines hummed to life. Unlike conventional ships that tore holes in space, the Leviathan gently folded it instead. The difference was not visible to observers, but it used 80% less energy and created no dangerous radiation. "Jump in 3, 2, 1, Hyunwoo counted down." The stars blurred momentarily, and when they stabilized again, Earth's sun was just one more distant point of light. Commander Woo Jin approached the captain with a data tablet. "Latest reports from all departments. Everything is functioning perfectly." "Thank you, Commander." Una took the tablet and quickly reviewed the information. "Have the crew begin their rotation schedule. I want everyone well rested for when we reach the first checkpoint." As Woo Jin left to carry out her orders, Una's thoughts drifted to the responsibility she carried. The Leviathan wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's statement to the galaxy. 2 days later, the Leviathan approached the first Council monitoring station. It was a small outpost situated near an uninhabited gas giant. Several alien ships hovered nearby, obviously waiting to get a look at the human vessel. "They're scanning us," reported Ensign Minji from the sensor station. "Multiple frequencies, very thorough." Una smiled slightly. "Let them look. Maintain current configuration." On the nearby alien vessels, analysts studied their readings with growing confusion and amusement. "This is what humans consider impressive?" asked a Zeridian officer, his scaled skin reflecting the light of his console. "It's large, yes, but the technology seems basic." His commander nodded. "Primitive shield systems. Minimal weapons capacity. No wonder they only sent one ship, it's all they could manage." The Zeridian vessel sent a communication request to the Leviathan. Captain Park accepted it, and the image of the Zeridian commander appeared on the main screen. "Human vessel," he said, not bothering to hide his condescension, "we welcome you to Council space. Do you require any assistance for your journey?" Una recognized the veiled insult but kept her expression pleasant. "Thank you, Commander, but the Leviathan is fully self-sufficient." "We appreciate your welcome." After the communication ended, Lieutenant Hyunwoo couldn't contain his frustration. "They think we're primitive. Did you see how he looked at us?" "Let them think what they want," Una replied calmly. "Appearances can be deceiving." That night, when most of the crew was asleep, Una visited the heart of the ship, a massive chamber that few outside the highest levels of Earth government knew existed. Inside, surrounded by softly glowing containment fields, was the true power of the Leviathan. Chief Engineer Jinsu met her there. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said, looking at the swirling energy patterns. "And still stable?" Una asked. "Completely. The adaptive matrix is functioning perfectly. We could activate any module at a moment's notice." Una nodded, satisfied. "Let's hope we don't need to. But it's good to know we're ready." As the journey continued, the Leviathan passed more observation posts and encountered more alien ships. Each time, the pattern repeated: scans, dismissive communications, and underestimation. One evening, as they approached the halfway point to the Council homeworld, Yuna gathered her senior officers in the ship's conference room. "We'll be encountering more traffic soon," she informed them. "And not all of it will be friendly. Our intelligence suggests that some factions within the Council are nervous about Earth joining." "Are they planning something?" asked Commander Wujin. "Possibly. Keep all systems on standby alert, but continue maintaining our current appearance." Yuna pulled up a star chart. "We'll be passing through this region next, a perfect place for an ambush if someone were planning one." The officers studied the map, noting the asteroid field and the gravitational distortions that would make sensors less reliable. "If we are attacked," Yuna continued, "we will respond according to Protocol Delta. Defensive measures only. We're not here to start a war." As the meeting ended, Minji approached her captain. "Do you really think they'll attack us?" Yuna looked at the young ensign. "I think someone will try to test us. And when they do, they'll finally understand why Earth sent just one ship." The Leviathan continued its steady journey forward, its true nature still hidden beneath its unassuming exterior, heading toward a confrontation that would change the Galactic Council's understanding of humanity forever. The Leviathan moved silently through the asteroid field. Captain Yuna stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. The field would have been dangerous for most ships, but the Leviathan's navigation systems easily plotted a safe course through the drifting rocks. "Anything on sensors, Ensign Minji?" Yuna asked. Minji studied her console intently. "There's some interference from the gravitational distortions, but nothing unusual yet." Commander Wujin approached the captain's chair. "We're exactly where you predicted an ambush would occur," he said quietly. Yuna nodded. "And if I wanted to surprise us, I'd be waiting behind that large asteroid cluster at coordinates 473. As if on cue, Minji's console lit up with alerts. "Captain." Multiple ships emerging from behind the asteroid cluster. The main viewscreen showed 5 vessels moving into attack formation. The largest bore the distinctive red markings of the BRICSAT Consortium, a powerful faction within the Council known for their aggressive stance toward new species. "They're charging weapons," reported Lieutenant Hyunwoo. "Shields are raised." Yuna remained calm. "Open communications." The screen flickered, revealing the face of a BRICSAT commander. His gray skin was lined with ceremonial scars, and his 4 eyes narrowed as he saw Yuna. "Human vessel," he growled, "this sector is under BRICSAT protection. Your kind is not welcome here." Yuna stood, keeping her voice level. "This is Captain Park of the HSV Leviathan. We are on a diplomatic mission to the Council homeworld with full authorization." The BRICSAT commander laughed, a harsh sound like rocks grinding together. "The Council made a mistake inviting primitive species like yours. We're here to correct that error." "We have no hostile intentions," Yuna replied. "Please allow us to continue our journey." "You will turn back," the commander demanded. "Or we will destroy your pathetic ship." The communication ended abruptly. The 5 alien vessels spread out, moving to surround the Leviathan. "They're targeting our engines," Minji reported. "First shots incoming in 10 seconds. Yuna pressed a button on her chair. "All hands, battle stations. Prepare for Protocol Delta." Throughout the ship, crew members moved with practiced efficiency. In engineering, Chief Jinsu's fingers flew across control panels, preparing systems that had remained dormant since leaving Earth. The first shots hit the Leviathan's shields, causing the entire ship to shudder. "Shields holding at 90%, reported Hyunwoo. "But they won't last long against concentrated fire." Yuna's expression remained calm. "Activate adaptive hull matrix. Deploy countermeasures." Jinsu confirmed from engineering, "Matrix activated, Captain." Outside, the attacking ships prepared for another volley. But something strange began to happen to the Leviathan. Panels along its hull slid open, revealing complex mechanisms underneath. The ship's entire surface seemed to ripple and change. On the BRICSAT vessel, an officer stared at his readings in confusion. "Commander, something's happening to the human ship. It's changing." The commander leaned forward. What trickery is this? Back on the Leviathan, Yuna gave her next order. Deploy defensive arrays Alpha through Delta. What had appeared to be ordinary sections of the hull transformed into advanced weapon systems and shield generators. The energy readings from the Leviathan suddenly multiplied tenfold. The second volley of BrickSat weapons fire hit the transformed shields and dissipated completely. No damage, reported Hyun-woo, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Our shields are now at 120% capacity. They're adjusting their attack pattern, Minji said. Targeting our weapons now. Yuna nodded. Let them try. Jinsu, activate mobility enhancements. The Leviathan, which had appeared slow and cumbersome, suddenly moved with unexpected agility. It twisted away from the incoming fire, then positioned itself between two of the attacking ships. Target their weapons systems only, Yuna ordered. Precision strikes, minimal damage. The Leviathan fired for the first time. Beams of concentrated energy hit the BrickSat ships with surgical precision, disabling their weapon arrays without causing catastrophic damage. On the BrickSat command ship, systems were failing. Our weapons are offline, shouted an officer. 2 escort vessels report the same. The commander slammed his fist on his chair. Impossible. It's just one ship. The Leviathan continued its transformation. More systems deployed, creating a complex, shifting pattern that made targeting nearly impossible. Each time the BrickSat ships adjusted their attack, the Leviathan adapted its defenses. Within minutes, all 5 attacking vessels had been neutralized, their weapons and propulsion systems disabled, but their life support intact. The BrickSat commander's face appeared on the Leviathan's viewscreen again, his expression a mixture of rage and disbelief. What kind of ship is this? He demanded. Yuna stood tall on her bridge. The kind that doesn't need a fleet. Now, you will escort us to the Council homeworld, where you can explain your unprovoked attack on a diplomatic vessel. After the BrickSat ships had been secured, Commander Woojin approached Yuna on the quiet bridge. They never stood a chance, did they? He asked. Yuna shook her head. No. But the important thing is that we disabled them without destroying them. That sends a stronger message than any destruction could. As the Leviathan continued its journey, now escorted by the humbled BrickSat ships, news of the encounter spread rapidly through Council space. The species that had sent just one ship had just defeated a BrickSat attack squad without losing a single crew member or firing a single killing shot. The Council would never look at humans the same way again. News of the Leviathan's victory over the BrickSat ships spread quickly through Council space. What had been seen as a primitive vessel had defeated 5 advanced warships without suffering any damage. More importantly, it had done so without destroying its attackers, a display of both power and restraint that impressed even the most skeptical Council members. 2 days after the incident, a Council diplomatic ship requested permission to dock with the Leviathan. Captain Yuna granted it immediately. Councillor Doyon himself led the delegation that came aboard. He was tall and slender with iridescent skin that shifted colors subtly as he moved. His 4 attendants followed him nervously, their eyes darting around the Leviathan's docking bay. Captain Park, Doyon said, bowing slightly. The Council sends its deepest apologies for the BrickSat attack. They acted without authorization. Yuna returned the bow. We understand, Counselor. Not everyone welcomes change. I must admit, Doyon said as they walked through the ship's corridors, we did not expect such capabilities from your vessel. Yuna smiled. Most don't. That's partly why we designed it this way. They entered a large conference room where Commander Woojin and Chief Engineer Jinsu waited. After introductions, Doyon got straight to the point. The Council is very interested in understanding more about the Leviathan, he said. Your ship defied all our sensor readings. Jinsu nodded. That's by design. We call it adaptive camouflage. But it's more than that, Doyon pressed. The way your ship transformed during combat, we've never seen technology like that before. Yuna glanced at her officers, then made a decision. Would you like to see what the Leviathan really is, Counselor? Doyun's skin rippled with blue tones, a sign of excitement in his species. Very much. Yuna led the delegation to a special elevator that took them deep into the ship's core. They emerged into a vast spherical chamber that pulsed with soft blue light. At the center floated what looked like a miniature galaxy, swirling patterns of energy contained within crystalline structures. This is the heart of the Leviathan, Jinsu explained. We call it the adaptive core. Doyun stared in wonder. What exactly does it do? It might be easier to show you, Yuna said. She nodded to Jinsu, who activated a holographic display. The room filled with three-dimensional images showing the Leviathan's true capabilities. It could transform not just its exterior but its entire internal structure. What had appeared to be a simple ship was actually a complex, modular system that could adapt to almost any situation. The Leviathan can become whatever we need it to be, Wu Jin explained. A warship when attacked. A research vessel when exploring. A manufacturing facility when needed. The hologram shifted to show internal sections of the ship that the council delegation hadn't seen: vast hydroponics gardens growing food, manufacturing plants that could produce almost anything from raw materials, and living quarters that could house thousands more people than the current crew. We don't need a fleet, Jinsu said proudly, because the Leviathan can become a fleet if necessary. Doyun's attendants whispered among themselves, clearly shocked. The counselor himself seemed deep in thought. Why, he finally asked. Why put all your resources into one vessel instead of spreading them out? Yuna's expression grew serious. Because humanity's history taught us something important. Our greatest weakness was always division, nations competing instead of cooperating, resources wasted on duplication. When we finally unified and pooled our knowledge and resources, we progressed more in 50 years than in the previous 500. She gestured to the adaptive core. The Leviathan isn't just a ship. It's a statement about who humans are now. We believe sending one perfect vessel would make that statement clearer than sending 100 average ones. As they continued the tour, an urgent message came through. A nearby council colony was experiencing a severe solar storm that had damaged their atmospheric shields. Thousands would die if the shields weren't repaired quickly. The nearest council help is hours away, Doyun said worriedly after reading the message. We can reach them in 20 minutes, Yuna replied immediately. And we can help. Doyun looked surprised. Your ship can repair atmospheric shields? Watch, Yuna said simply. The Leviathan changed course, accelerating toward the endangered colony. As they approached, Jinsu reconfigured entire sections of the ship. Manufacturing units began producing specialized equipment. Crew members who had appeared to be simple pilots or engineers revealed themselves to be experts in atmospheric science and shield technology. When they reached the colony, a small outpost on a rocky moon, the Leviathan deployed multiple specialized modules. Work teams in advanced environment suits quickly repaired the damaged shield generators while the ship itself extended its own shields to protect the colony temporarily. Standing on the Leviathan's observation deck, Doyun watched the rescue operation with new understanding. Now I see, he said quietly. You sent one ship because that one ship can do everything. Yuna nodded. And because we're stronger together than apart. As the colony's shields came back online and grateful messages flooded in, Doyun's skin shifted to a deep purple, a sign of profound respect. The Council has much to learn from humans, he admitted. The Leviathan approached the Council homeworld with an honorary escort of 17 ships, one from each Council species. The massive vessel moved gracefully for its size, its once plain exterior now proudly displaying some of its true capabilities. Captain Yuna stood on the bridge, watching the magnificent ringed planet grow larger on the viewscreen. After weeks of travel and challenges, they had finally arrived. Nervous? Commander Wu Jin asked, standing beside her. A little, Yuna admitted. Everything we've done has led to this moment. The Council homeworld was a marvel of alien engineering. Massive cities floated in the upper atmosphere of the gas giant. Space stations orbited at various distances, connected by shimmering energy pathways. Ships of all sizes moved between these structures in carefully coordinated patterns. It's beautiful, Minji whispered from her station. A communication came through from the planet's traffic control. HSV Leviathan, you are cleared to approach. Please follow the guide beacons to the diplomatic docking station. As the Leviathan moved toward its designated position, thousands of aliens gathered at viewing platforms and windows to witness the arrival of the human ship that had defeated the Bricksat squad and saved a colony. In the Grand Council chamber, representatives from all 17 species had assembled for the formal welcome ceremony. The curved walls displayed images of the approaching Leviathan, which now dwarfed even the largest escort vessels. It's much bigger than I expected, muttered one counselor. Size isn't everything, replied Counselor Hagen. It's what's inside that matters. Counselor Doyun, who had returned ahead of the Leviathan to prepare for its arrival, nodded in agreement. And what's inside will surprise you all. Once the Leviathan docked, Captain Yuna led a small delegation of her officers toward the council chamber. They wore simple blue uniforms with Earth's insignia, a circle showing all continents without national borders. The humans entered the chamber to a mixed reception. Some counselors stood in respect, others remained seated, still skeptical despite the stories they'd heard. High Counselor Mina stepped forward to welcome them. Captain Park, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I welcome you and your crew to our homeworld. Yuna bowed respectfully. We are honored to be here, High Counselor. Before we begin the formal proceedings, Mina continued, there are many questions about your ship. The reports we've received are difficult to believe. Yuna smiled. Then perhaps we should show you directly. With your permission? Mina gestured her agreement, and Yuna activated her communication device. Chief Jinsu, initiate embassy protocol, she said clearly. Outside, the Leviathan began to change. What had seemed like a complete transformation during the Bricksat attack was nothing compared to what happened now. The ship's outer hull separated into multiple sections that began to unfold and extend. New structures emerged, creating platforms, docking bays, and observation decks. The council chamber's displays showed the transformation from multiple angles. The counselors watched in stunned silence as the Leviathan reconfigured itself from a vessel into an enormous space station. Impossible, whispered a reptilian counselor. No ship can carry that much mass. It's not about mass, Jinsu explained, having joined them via holographic projection. It's about efficient use of materials and space. Every molecule in the Leviathan can be repurposed as needed. When the transformation completed, the Leviathan had become a beautiful, flower-shaped station with Earth's unified emblem displayed proudly at its center. The Leviathan is now Earth's embassy to the Galactic Council, Yuna announced. A permanent home for cooperation between our peoples. High Counselor Mina's expression showed genuine amazement. In all my years, I have never seen technology used in this way. That's because you've always measured advancement by how many ships a species can build or how powerful their weapons are, Yuna replied. Humans once thought that way too. But we learned that true progress isn't about quantity. She gestured to the transformed Leviathan. We could have built 100 ships with the resources we put into this one. But 100 separate vessels would never be as effective as one perfectly unified system. Counselor Doyun stepped forward. When the humans told us they would send just one ship, many of us laughed. We thought they were primitive or arrogant. Now I understand they were simply showing us a different path. Later that evening, as celebrations began throughout the New Earth Embassy, Yuna stood with Wu Jin and Jinsu on an observation deck, looking out at the council homeworld. Do you think they truly understand? Wu Jin asked. Yuna watched as ships from various species approached the embassy, carrying curious visitors and potential allies. They're beginning to, she said. The Zeridians have already asked for our help redesigning their fleet. 3 other species want to learn about our adaptive technology. And the Bricksat? Jinsu asked with a slight smile. They've been unusually quiet, Yuna replied. But their scientists were the first to request a tour of our engineering sections. As the 3 officers looked out at the stars, they knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had made its entrance into galactic society not through intimidation or by following tradition, but by demonstrating a different approach, showing that unity, adaptability, and innovation could be more powerful than the largest fleet. The question that had puzzled the Council for months, why humans had sent just one ship, now had its answer. And that answer was changing how every species thought about their place in the galaxy.